Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Kalim, and today I have come with a new lecture of general anatomy on integumentary system. The integument, also called the skin or the cutaneous membranes, all the three are one and the same thing. It is a largest organ. It has 20 square feet surface area, and it is covered by epithelium, and it develops from ectoderm in the embryological life. The integument is composed of the outer layer, the epidermis, the second layer, the dermis. The dermis is called the actual skin. Then below the dermis is the hypodermis, which is not the part of the integumentary system, but it is in very intimate contact. We will discuss it later on as the superficial fascia. Then, in the integumentary system, hairs, nails, sudoriferous glands or the sweat glands, the sebaceous glands, the ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands are modified sweat glands, the blood vessels, the neural tissue, the free nerve endings, the smooth muscles. All these are the constituents of the integumentary system. The layers of the skin are the integument. It has two distinct layers, the epidermis and the dermis. The epidermis is composed of the epithelial cells. There are 5 layers of epithelium right from the surface inward are called the stratum corneum, stratum lucidum, stratum granulosum, stratum spinosum, and the stratum basale. These are the layers of the epidermis. The histology teacher will tell you in detail and will show the slides of these layers. Then the dermis. The dermis is composed of the connective tissue, and it has 2 layers. The outer layer in intimate contact with the epidermis is called the papillary layer, and next to papillary layer is the reticular layer. The papillary layer of the dermis, it is composed of elastic collagen fibers and makes projections, and these projections are called papilla toward the epithelial layer, which represents themselves on the surface as friction ridges are the thumb and the finger impressions. The papillary layer contains the blood vessels, the sweat glands, the sebaceous glands, the hair follicles, nails, roots, and the sensory nerve endings, and the muscular tissue, the smooth muscle, that is the muscle of the smooth muscle of the hair follicle, that is called the erector pylorus muscle. The friction ridges or the fingerprints uh, formed by the dermal papilla are very important from medical legal point of view and the other legal procedures, because everyone has its own specific and distinct fingerprint impression, and these are the dermal papilla which form thumb and other impressions upon the surfaces. So the cleavage or tension lines. These lines are due to the second layer of the dermis, that is called the reticular layer, and these are due to the orientation of collagen fibers bundles under the epidermis of the skin. So the arrangement is shown, the arrangement of these collagen fibers is shown on the surface in the two pictures you can see in the slide. Some tension lines, cleavage lines are tension lines are transverse, and some are in the limbs you can see are along the long axis. The clinical significance of these lines is, if a surgeon draws a line perpendicular to these cleavage lines, he will injure many of the collagen bundles. So the wound will heal uh, with a big scar, and it will take some more time. But if the surgical cut is drawn along the cleavage lines, it will not severe, it will not injure the maximum collagen fibers, and the wound will heal uh, with the in minimum time and with a minimum scarring. Flexure creases. These are lines along the skin folds during movements of joints. The skin hair is thin and firmly bound to deep fascia, and these are particularly present in the soles, in the palms, and in the digital areas. The nails. The nails are derivatives of the integumentary system, and they are derived from the stratum corneum, that is the first layer, which are dead cells. The composition of nail, it is thin, dead scaly cells, and they are densely packed together, having hard keratin fiber. The nail develops from the nail matrix, and it is attached by the root in the nail bed. The various parts of the nail are the eponychium, hyponychium, nail groove on the both sides, the nail body or the nail plate, the free edge, and the lunula, the whitish crescentic area on the nail. Hairs are keratinized integument. They grow from their hair follicles in the dermis. They are soft beneath the skin and hard outside and dead. They get their bloods and the nerve supply through their hair follicle. The layers of the hair. It has three layers. The outer, the cuticle, the middle one, the cortex, and the innermost is the medulla. The cuticle is the outer layer, or it makes the shaft of the hair. It has overlapping keratin cells, and these cells work as a protective scale. And the cuticle is also transparent. It means that the inside the cortical layer, which is pigmented, it appears through the cuticle, and the cortex, after the cortex, is the medullary uh, layer, which is sometimes absent uh, from the hairs structure, and that is the hair there is called the non-medullary hair. Types of hair. Lanugo hair or the fur. These are present in the baby when the baby is in the uterus or in the womb. These are soft, unmodulated, and unpigmented. The vellus hairs. Vellus hairs, they replace the lanugo hairs when the baby is born. These are short and fine, and these are present before the puberty and also present in the woman. These are soft, unmodulated, but these are pigmented. The terminal hairs are the actual mature hairs. These are coarse, modulated, and pigmented. These are present at puberty, and these are controlled by the androgenic hormones, also called the androgenic hairs. The glands of the skin. The exocrine glands of the skin. First, the sweat glands, also called sudoriferous glands. They produce a watery solution. It regulates temperature, and they are located deep in the dermis, and their shape is coiled tubular. The types of sweat glands. The ecrine, also called the merocrine sweat glands. They are coiled tubular. Their ducts opens to pores on the surface. They are located on the palms, soles of the feet. The nature of the secretion of the sweat is hypotonic, and their nerve supply is from the sympathetic nervous system. The epicrine glands of the skin. These are also the sweat glands having large ducts. They empty into the hair follicle. Their location is in the axillary region and the anogenital areas. Their secretion interact with the skin bacteria, and they result in odor. Bad smell. The ceruminous glands are further the types of epicrine glands. These are modified epicrine glands, and these are two in number, different situations. In different situations, in the air canal, they secrete a wax-like substance, which is called the concha. And mammary gland is a ceruminous gland, a modified epicrine gland, and it produces the milk. Last is the sebaceous glands, also called the holocrine glands. They secrete sebum, an oily uh, material which slows water loss, softens hair. This in nature is bactericidal. It kills bacteria. And these glands are stimulated by androgens. Whenever the androgens are released in the body, these glands become hypertrophied, enlarge in size, and their examples are sebaceous glands on the surface of the face. You can see uh, in the adolescence period of a male and female, the uh, enlarged sebaceous glands uh, which cause disfigurement of the beautiful face. The meibomian glands which are present at the lateral canthus of the eye, the arrow has shown on the, this is called the lateral canthus, and also it forms sebaceous cysts on the skull, also results in acne formation. In Pashto it is called Zwanaki, and sebaceous hyperplasia on the surface of the face, skin face. So that's all about today's lecture. Hope you would have followed me, and I hope you would have been satisfied